Hey, what's going on? Jeff Lerner here, and in this video we are talking about how to overcome stage fright, how to get confident, being able to speak in front of people and get over the nervousness that really stops a lot of people from moving forward with opportunities or pursuing opportunities to speak in front of people, which can be an absolute game changer and such a powerful way to grow a business or a message or a brand or even just yourself personally. And yeah, most people don't go there because of the fear. So let's talk about how to conquer it. Hey, what's up? So let's talk about how to get over that pesky fear and nervous energy that stops so many of us from ever pursuing what I believe is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself personally, and certainly to grow any business, which is seek out opportunities to share and to speak in front of other people. I've been speaking for several years, and in the last year I've really leaned into that part of my business, and just the growth from developing the ability to confidently stand up in front of a group of people and authentically shed the fear or move past the fear and just connect and just speak really from the heart, obviously with a structure, but not in a contrived way, in a way where it just flows and it kind of comes to you naturally. It is the most powerful skill, I believe. I mean, I say that, it's like the most powerful skill. Speaking to an audience and speaking on camera, I would say those two together make up the most powerful skill for growing a business today. So there's three things that I do and that I've done to get to where it's not a scary thing, it's not an intimidating thing, it's not a challenging thing. In fact, it's an exciting thing. It's not just about getting to where you're not terrified or you're not cringing, but actually you can be excited about it. And that's actually what I find is that public speaking is itself, it's a very thrilling thing. And the only reason that you wouldn't be excited about it is if you're scared of it. And obviously fear isn't exciting, but getting past fear is. So let's get you past the fear so that you can embrace this thing that's really, really pretty cool. First of all is just a physical technique. And I actually got this from my training, the vocal training I used to do as a singer. When I used to be a professional piano player, I wanted to add singing to my repertoire because pianists that can sing tend to get paid more on gigs than pianists that don't. So I went and hired a vocal coach, and there's been a couple physical exercises that I learned for voice that have carried over to speaking really well, both in terms of training the body to be able to speak and connect and deliver in the moment under the pressure of being on stage. It's the same pressure whether you're performing a musical instrument or performing as yourself, just being the instrument. It's the same pressure, but also as a really powerful warm-up, these exercises. So I'll give you two that are part of a whole series, but they're two that kind of, I think, do the most to not only prepare you to go out and speak, but also sort of align your body and get your body going. One of them is what I call lion face. And lion face is literally just a visualization technique where, forgive me, I'm literally pulling my nostrils apart as part of lion face. You think of a lion's face. A lion has high, wide cheekbones. It has big flared nostrils, a big, wide face. And lion face is literally just a visualization technique of picturing your face expanding upwards and outwards, your cheekbones spreading out, your nose, the bridge of your nose widening, and just breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth with that widening face, lion face I call it. And then with that, as you do the inhalations, yes, the air is coming in through your nose, but this I call butt breathing. What I like to do is picture, as the air is coming in through my nose, that I actually have nostrils, like nostril holes like this big in my butt cheeks, so that as the air comes in, I'm literally like tightening my butt, and it feels like the air, I mentally envision the air coming in through my butt cheeks. And the reason I do that is when you fill your torso with air, your abdomen, obviously when you breathe, you breathe kind of top down. Air comes in here and it goes down, right? And your diaphragm, which is about here, so in order to create the breathing, your diaphragm presses down like that. And when it presses down like that, it creates a vacuum that expands your lungs and the air comes in. That's all well and good. You breathe from the top down, but the more you can visually think about breathing from the bottom up, the more you create stability here. So as you breathe, what you don't want is to breathe here. Like you see a lot of people do like chest puff or shoulder lift breathing. You want to do tight, like don't be self-conscious. Be willing to make yourself look thick in the torso and think about the air filling the keg of your torso from the bottom up. And what that'll do is that'll give you this stability, like this foundation, because speaking, especially if you have to go out on stage for 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. I've literally done speaking engagements where I was on stage going nonstop for several hours, or even I think the most I did was about 6 hours on stage over the course of one single day. That's so much talking, and whether you're on stage for 6 minutes or 6 hours, you don't want to sound and you don't want to present as though it's a lot of work. And so the more you have a stable breath foundation underneath your vocal apparatus, the more speaking simply is about just letting the air kind of naturally flow out through your throat, but all the tension, all the pressure is down here. And it's tricky. It's kind of a tricky mental concept to really get a handle on, but again, wide face, wide and high, breathing in, but picturing the air coming in here and filling up your torso from the bottom up. It does two things. One, it gives you that really, really stable foundation to speak from. The other thing is it's a nice thing even when you're on stage to mentally come back to, just to kind of like take the air out of the moment. A lot of times if you start to get caught up or nervous and your anxiety starts to get a hold of you, just to recenter and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna poke some holes in my butt cheeks and breathe with a wide face and breathe air in through my butt. It's almost so silly that it'll snap you out of the anxiety and kind of recenter you and rebuild that base that you can speak and deliver from. So that's step one, is just kind of that physical method. Step two, the second thing is, honestly, and there's really no substitute for this, you just gotta get comfortable being looked at. You gotta get comfortable with the fact that when you're on stage, people are watching you, people are looking at you. There's no mind, I see a lot of people talking about speaking and how you go up there and it's almost like you trick yourself to not really make eye contact, scan the room, look at people's foreheads or picture yourself in an empty room. That stuff's all fine, but at the end of the day, there's people looking at you. And when you go up and give a presentation, the goal isn't to pretend that the people aren't there. The goal is to be excited that they are there and that you have an opportunity to connect with them in a way that not only has some positive benefit for you, but can have a real impact for them. You're not gonna get there if you're trying to psych yourself into feeling like there's nobody in the room or nobody's looking at you. You have to lean into the fact that they are looking at you, and if you're good, they're hanging on your every word. And for that, again, the idea of visualizing them as not being there is not productive. So for me, this is just about repetition. It's exposure therapy or immersion therapy. That's at a psychological level what you kind of have to do to get there. And frankly, I'm walking around the Wynn Casino right now in Vegas shooting a video, and I'll bet if I talk really loud, some people will look at me. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Like, you just get to where you're not scared, and there's really no substitute for doing it. You just practice. Like, we like shortcuts, but sometimes the shortcut is just stop looking for a shortcut and practice putting yourself in situations where people may or may not be looking at you. And it's kind of the whole sticks and stones thing. It's like when we were a kid, we thought that if somebody said that we sucked at Foursquare or we were a loser, we got picked last for dodgeball, we thought that was the end of the world. Now we're grown-ups, and ideally we realize, you know what, I was fine. Well, it's just the process of realizing that when people are looking at you, you're fine. And in fact, you're in a great position, because if you have people's attention, think how hard people work to get people's attention. Think how much clamoring there is both on and off the internet just to get people's attention. When you have their attention, you're in a winner's seat. Now all you gotta do is just be yourself and deliver the goods. And you can walk out of the room having made an impact that might take other people months or even years to affect. So you start to celebrate the fact that, like, a lot of the most powerful things in life happen when people are looking at you, and the fact that they're looking at you is a win. And, but I mean, I get that at some level that's easier said than done. If you research exposure therapy, immersion therapy, you find that it's a type of therapy that basically says, look, whatever you're scared of, you just sort of sequentially do a little bit more and a little bit more. Like if somebody's scared of flying, then, day one of exposure therapy might just be, let's go to the airport and then we'll leave. Day two might be, hey, let's go to the terminal, then we'll leave. Day three might be, hey, let's go to the terminal and look out the window as a plane pulls up, and then we'll leave. Day four might be, hey, let's actually go get on a plane with the engines off. Day five might be, let's go get on a plane and have them turn the engines on. Day six, and you get the idea, maybe by day 22, you're actually taking off on the plane. It's pushing that envelope a little bit, every day, every session, whatever. So figure out a way in your own life to gradually increase the exposure and the visibility and the vulnerability to naturally get acclimated to the feeling that, oh my gosh, people might be looking at me. And frankly, internet marketing, video marketing, shooting videos, putting a video up on YouTube, maybe shoot a little video on, first take a picture of yourself, put it up on Instagram, shoot a little video of yourself, 30 seconds, put it up on Instagram, shoot a 2-minute video of yourself, put it up on YouTube, shoot a 10-minute video of yourself, put it up on YouTube, maybe then shoot a 10-minute video of yourself talking about something that's a little more personal, put it up on YouTube, just gradually ratcheting it up. But start now. Don't say, well, once I get an opportunity to speak publicly, then I'm gonna get into the business of feeling comfortable and confident in my own skin. No, get into that business right now so that A, you'll be more likely to pursue those opportunities, and then when they actually do come around, you're poised to go crush it. You're poised to really capitalize and frankly, get invited to do more of it. So that's step 2, is to sort of take an exposure therapy approach to, sequentially acclimating yourself to that public visibility that obviously is gonna happen if you're up on stage. And then the third tip for increasing your comfort level, potentially for public speaking, again, is to use video. I started to mention this with the exposure therapy idea, but it's not just using video as a way to sort of progressively put yourself out there and get more and more visible to get comfortable with that. It's also using video as a medium to actually craft your message and your style and your delivery, your mannerisms, your bearing, even what I'm doing now. And this you could do, I used to say do it in a mirror, but even if you do it in a mirror, in fact, I think it is great to do it in a mirror. Set up a camera too, so that you can watch yourself objectively later as an audience member and critique yourself. But really to just figure out who you are, what you have to say, and how you have to say it. It's something that there's really kind of like the comfort thing. There's no substitute for just doing the reps. If somebody says, well, who are you and what's your message? Most people have no idea. If you say, well, what's your mission statement? Most people have no idea. You say, well, in 60 seconds or less, what's the core value proposition of your business? Most people have an idea, but they struggle to get it into 60 seconds or less, and they struggle to deliver it in a way where people go, man, that guy knew that cold. He really delivered that with some oomph. And so just practicing finding your voice and realizing that all a stage is voice times audience. And a lot of people fixate on the audience. Oh, it's gonna be terrifying. There's gonna be so many people there. But one of the ways you can make the audience seem a lot less scary is to go up there with confidence about who you are and what you have to say. And again, the nice thing is you can be practicing that and practicing the comfort with the exposure at the same time. I've been telling people now for the better part of a year that I think everyone on this planet should be shooting videos all the time, not because of making money or becoming famous or having influence or being a celebrity or anything like that. Just because you find yourself when the camera's rolling. Honestly, if you have opportunities to speak on stage, great, take them. You'll find yourself when you're out there in front of people, but a lot of people don't have those opportunities yet. But anybody has an opportunity to roll a camera, and you will find yourself. You will find who you are, you will find your core messaging, you will find your core values, and it'll force you to get the marbles out of your mouth on really important things. It's not a trivial thing to say, who are you? What do you stand for? What do you have to say in this world? It's actually, I would argue, a tragic thing when people can't confidently and somewhat succinctly answer that question. So look at this as an opportunity, not to even just necessarily develop a business skill, but to actually become like a way more elevated, statured, confident, better person who can answer that question. Public speaking's been incredible for me. I encourage you to embrace it and do these skills and leave me any comments below. Let me know your experience, your thoughts, any questions, any success stories, any challenges you faced. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for your time. I would ask you if you're interested in anything to do with having an awesome life. That's what my channel is all about. My channel is about how to elevate your game to have the most incredible life possible. It's a pretty big umbrella to say awesome life strategies, awesome life tactics, awesome life tips and hacks and tools, but that's what it is. I think life is meant to be awesome, and my channel is dedicated to bringing you that message, both with inspiration and also strategy. So if you think that sounds cool, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you click the little bell to be notified as new videos get released, and I will see you on the next one, bringing you more of the awesome life goodness. Thanks for your time.